Do you know why Adolf Hitler, one of the most infamous figures in history, targeted the Jews so intensely? What was behind this deep hatred that led to one of humanity's darkest chapters, the Holocaust?
Dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
Today, we're uncovering the roots of Nazi antisemitism and answering the pressing question, why did Hitler single out the Jews for such brutal persecution? So, who really were the Jews in Hitler's worldview? What events fueled his hatred? When and where did his antisemitism take shape? And, most importantly, why did it become central to Nazi ideology? Let's dive into this complex and tragic story. Adolf Hitler was born in Austria in 1889 and lived in Vienna from 1908 to 1913. At the time, Vienna was a hotbed of anti-Semitism, with prejudices against Jews that had existed across Europe for centuries. Jews faced discrimination not only for their religion, but also for their culture, and later, their race. It was in Vienna that Hitler absorbed many of these toxic ideas, not just casual dislike, but a dangerous ideology that began shaping his worldview. Although historians debate whether his hatred was fully formed during these years, the seeds were clearly planted. After World War I, Germany was devastated, defeated, humiliated, and economically shattered. Many Germans, including Hitler, embraced the so-called stab-in-the-back myth. This false story claimed that Jews and communists had betrayed Germany, causing its loss in the war. As a result, Jews were unjustly scapegoated for Germany's suffering. At the same time, Hitler adopted racist ideas about the so-called Aryan race, a supposed superior bloodline that, according to Nazi pseudoscience, had to be purified. In this twisted vision, Jews were portrayed as the greatest threat. By the early 1930s, Hitler had risen to power, and Nazi ideology began controlling Germany. In 1935, the Nazis passed the Nuremberg Laws, stripping Jews of citizenship, banning marriage between Jews and non-Jews, and enforcing widespread discrimination. Anti-Semitism was no longer just personal hatred, it became government policy, systematic, organized, and eventually genocidal. Hitler viewed Jews as a destructive force, both ideologically and racially, that threatened Germany and the so-called Aryan race. He spread conspiracy theories that Jews controlled capitalism and communism alike. He blamed them for economic crises and political instability. In truth, his anti-Semitism was not just hate, it was a weapon. It was designed to unite his followers against a common enemy and to justify horrific crimes. Today, we remember the 6 million Jews murdered during the Holocaust, a tragic reminder of the catastrophic consequences of hatred and scapegoating. By understanding the origins of Nazi anti-Semitism, we can better confront prejudice and discrimination in the world today. So what do you think? What caused such deep-seated hatred in one man? And more importantly, how can we ensure that history never repeats itself? Share your thoughts in the comments below.